Kamigawa Neon Dynasty products are available for pre-order now at CoolStuffInc.com. Use the promo code CGB5 and you'll get a 5% discount on your order and a sweet Covert Go Blue Wolf token for free. Pre-order now at CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock. Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we go to battle with Naya, another Naya creature pile. So today is Naya creature pile day, and I already filmed the standard video on which I'm playing basically a Halana and Elena deck with a whole bunch of white creatures. But in Alchemy, the balance of power shifted pretty dramatically from the white creature curve, with Luminarch Gas Pirate getting a pretty nasty nerf, and with several other just cards being very medium, like Redain, compared to the rest of the format, which is now very more creature-centric and not as much spell-centric. So the Naya pile shifts from a focus on white to a focus on green and red, and the Wolf Pack. So we have got one drop in the form of Tenacious Pup. We've got Werewolf Pack Leader on 2, and then that immediately makes you go, whoa, wait, CGB, can you cast Werewolf Pack Leader on 2 with double green in a 3-color deck? CGB, are you crazy? This deck is all about the numbers. It's 100% about the numbers. So if you want a double green Werewolf Pack Leader, you want at least 17 green sources, but probably more than that. This deck squeezes in 18 sources of green, and getting 2 of those for turn 2 should be pretty reasonable. The only lands in the deck that don't produce green are 4 Needle Verge Pathways and 3 Sundown Pass. Honestly, I'm really tempted to trim, but again, it's all about the numbers. So you have double green on turn 2. What do you need to have white on turn 3 or turn 4, which is what I'm kind of gunning for here, and maybe double white for Legion Angel, but I'm really just worried about 1 white. Legion Angel's so high upside in best of 1, I included it anyway. I might not always cast it on time. We'll see. Anyway, for the white sources, we actually were able to pull together 13 white sources, which should be enough to have one on turn 4. If you want to see more about mana math, search for Frank Karsten, how many lands or how many sources of a color in your deck. But just search for Frank Karsten lands article, things like that. It's a famous piece of Magic work at this point. It's pretty old, so there are some tweaks that could be made to it, some updates, but it will put you on the right path. Another good resource is Next Level Deck Building, a book by Patrick Chapin that I really enjoy. All right, so covering that, continuing, this deck is still all about the numbers, because we also need enough red sources, which this deck does pretty well with 15. That should be enough to have a red by turn 3, no problem. And then we also, on top of that, we need enough creatures for Inquisitor Captain to trigger, and they have to be 3 or less. So this is the sus one, if you ask me. This is the one that's kind of tough, because we have 24 creatures that fit the bill. So if there are 4 of those creatures on the battlefield or in if there are 4 of those creatures on the battlefield or in exile, does it check hand? It does check hand. Yeah. It checks graveyard, hand, and library. See, I still have to double check before I make an idiot of myself and have to re-record this intro. But yes, as long as there aren't 4 of our 3 mana creatures in exile or on the battlefield, the captain will still trigger. And the idea that it's okay sometimes to have a captain that won't trigger is, if you're playing good creatures, if you have 4 of them on the battlefield, you should be winning anyway. If we have 4 of them in exile because they got purged, it's really sad. And we have to actually remember that we need to get them back on the battlefield for the captain. So it's a good thing to think about ahead of time. Now, we could play a few more 1, 2, and 3 drops and limit that downside, but I honestly think the 1 copy of Halana Elena and the 1 copy of Legion Angel are so good that I don't want to do that. We could also replace Ranger class with another wolf, like say the Kessig Naturalist or the Outland Liberator. Those cards suck. And I think Ranger class is just a much better card in every way for this deck. So I'm playing this card. Thalia. Thalia is a card you could put in this deck. But remember, 13 sources of white. We won't always have white on turn 2, which makes Thalia a lot worse. So this is the build. It's all about the numbers. Will the numbers work out and add up? We'll find out. I'm going to give credit for the deck, at least where I got the inspiration to build this thing, was the battle with Croakies. He played it. I don't know if he got it from someone else before then or how that worked, but that's where I first saw Naya Wolves with Captain, and I was like, oh yeah, that actually looks legit. So is it legit? Should you play a deck with red mana in it without Townraiser Tyrant and Alchemy? Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. All right. Welcome to Diamond. First game is against a Diamond 1 on the draw. Wrecked. I mean, we've got a removal spell, so I'll keep the hand. Those are pretty darn important on the draw. We haven't actually got our Valorous Stance to shine yet today. Maybe this will be the time for Valorous Stance. I think it's one of the better one-ofs you can play. Maybe it's a two-of when the meta lines up just right, but at least a one-of in your creature deck that plays white lands is probably a good idea. Takes a pretty crowded deck to not do that. Oh, the courtesy tap. Nice. I'd blow them a kiss, but that emote I got... Guys, if you don't know about the emote bug, if you play on your mobile device and you play on a desktop, if like the mobile client freezes all the time and you have to restart it, if you do that, your emotes disappear on the desktop client, on both clients, but it's really frustrating that on the desktop client you have to go back and re-equip your emotes. But they're a small indie development company. What can you do, really, right? Oh, make that a 4/4. Ooze. There's a card I haven't seen in a minute. All right. Now we have Valorous Stance for the pack leader. It does take our whole turn, though. That's not great. But if we don't do it, the opponent will probably draw a card next turn. And we hates that, my precious. So, do you think they'll put a +1/+1 counter on this? Like with a Ranger class? That would make this a 4, and our block would be futile. Still, I'm on the draw. I'm going to stay defensive. I'm going to try to keep the board awkward for our opponent. Here's a troll. Ugh. Ugh. How do you deal with that troll? How do you deal with all trolls? Ignore them! No, that doesn't... Sus strategy. Let's make some more wolves. Maybe we can double block it with some wolves. And if the troll attacks, we can level some Ranger class attack with Rohilda. Get some counters on it so it can spar really well. Blizzard Brawl, though. Frickin' Blizzard Brawl. They don't have enough snow permanents for the indestructible, but they don't need it yet. They just popped off a Veil. And a Veil. You scum. You monster. Alright. Think it's this. And then we're still going to try to get this Rohilda big enough to first strike its way out and help us get out of this. Oh, come on! Wow, good way to have it all. Jesus. That's some garbo. All right, I need to draw some cards. What do I need to draw? We already used our Valorous Stance. We need to draw Brutal Cathar. Or we need to draw Blizzard Brawl from their deck. But if I'm chumping with this 3/3 and taking 7 next turn, it's not good. So this has to stay back anyway. We need to draw another creature with this Rohilda. We'll get something from their deck. I just don't know if I can cast it. And we'll draw a card as well. So hopefully between the two we hit something. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Give me something good. Troll, land. Wow. Thanks, deck. Thanks, deck. Now, maybe I should have just leveled the Ranger class first and made this a 4/4, but, I mean, they're kind of proving that their 4/4s don't stay 4/4s, and when it attacks, it gets another counter anyway. Yeah, we are We are, as they say, screwed. I think it's like this. See what they kill. Maybe the Tovolar, maybe the Rahilda. Both get card advantage. All right, down to 2. Nighttime, we flip and get double strike. How hard can we hit? 10? 10's not enough. The lands are... there's a lot of land here, guys. All right, we need to... There's a troll. We can play a troll. That's 7. And then we need one more creature, which should be a doable thing. Okay, Pup is nice. Brawl is not that good. Oh, okay. All right. Pupper. Up to 3. Troll. 5/5. This is gonna flip back. That's pretty rough. Fighting here doesn't do anything. Level. Hold on to your butts. I have no snowland to attach this to. Their troll better than my troll. All right. So how about you top a land, opponent? Huh? What do you think of that idea? Good idea? Good idea? A little whiff? I mean, I've drawn some land. Why don't you draw some land? I know you did last turn, but I need another. God, they're thinking way too much. I'm so dead, aren't I? YOLO over here. Everybody get in front. If their deck doesn't play choose your weapon, it's a crime. Choose your weapon in this deck would be Pog, as they say on the Twitcher. Okay. I get to keep Rahilda? That's what they're not worried about? Whack. Very whack. Okay, show me this card you drew. Maybe they plan to Mega Pump and block, but this is a 6. Dragon Guard Elite. Why wouldn't it be a land? All right, 2 counters. I definitely attack through that, and they're at 9. They knew about this Blizzard Brawl, right? So they knew if they played this, it would die. Very strong. I need your deck to save me. Mine sucks. Mine only draws lands. Your deck has to do this. One card, one opportunity. Here we go. A little Magecraft action here. Three to 3. It's a land. It has... Oh, well, I mean, not something I could cast anyway. Here comes their 4/4. They don't have enough to power up 2 layers and get me with that way. They need to draw the right card. Did we get out of this? Oh, yeah! Nice. Dude, that game was a roller coaster. Rahilda! Rahilda! You brought it all home. All right. Turn 1. We can't green on turn 1, which is a bit of a meh, but we're on the draw, so maybe we'll draw it. Untapped green, and we go Pup into Rahilda, into Stormseeky. Okay. Mountain. They have Rahilda. That's very bad, but Make a 2/2 isn't good. We play our own Rahilda and hope to block. They'll just kill it. Probably. All right, the no untapped green really got us this game. I guess make them have it. Shouldn't be too hard, though. Don't hit a playable. Please don't hit a playable. Son of a... I guess it's not a good one. Oh! They're stuck on land. Nice. You're telling me there's a chance. We could Brutal Cathar it, but the Cathar probably gets taken. If we play a 2/3, they might have more trouble dealing with that. The mana is definitely awkward here. I think I'm supposed to play... Maybe we let them hit us and play their Ranger class. Who cares, right? So, to try to get around their removal, let's start playing pups and get higher toughness. I guess we can play this pup as a 2/3 instead of playing Ranger class. It's less mana efficient, but the 2/3, they do have to get through it. So then they have to use removal on the pup, and then our next card is really good too. Yeah, I don't think they want to have to kill this pup. That is not where they wanted to point their removal spell. But they have to if they want to get Rahilda through. Okay, they're going to Frostbite the 1/2. Wow, they must have a lot of removal in hand if they're making that play. And of course they missed a land drop, so God knows how many removal they have. Yeah, here we go. Just burn the creatures to the ground. That's a good one. So I guess I have to Brutal Cathar this now just so that it's on Summoning Sickness. Because otherwise they can play the Expanded Anatomy to get it through. Or we make them play the Expanded Anatomy. This is a 4/4, this is a 4/4. I guess this at least hits if they remove it. Or we could double creature. This is a 4/4, this is a 2/2. Yeah, let's start getting some traction. If they play the Expanded Anatomy, then we Brutal Cathar them. Feels good. They also have to remove this pack leader, but they might go for Anatomy instead. Oh god, if they go for Anatomy this turn and attack, that's so good for us. But it's so appealing. Yeah, they're doing it. It's so appealing because they get Vigilance, so they think they can block too. We'll just take this hit. They get another card, but they can't cast it. They don't have the mana. Is that 2 Brutal Cathars? And these are exiled from our deck, right? So this does count towards Inquisitor Captain. We have to keep that in mind. Exile a non-land card from their library. It's not Conjure. I wish it were. Okay. Off the board for you. Now we get to draw. Hit them hard. Oh, now they're in big trouble. Okay, this was good. They were all in on that Rahilda. They even took 3 for this land. If that attacks, I'm blocking. Okay. If we play Tovolar, they have 3 snow permanents now. If they have their 3rd Frostbite, which they might, and they take out the Tovolar, it's pretty bad. It's not great. So I guess I'm going to play another pack leader instead and keep putting counters on this one. What else can they do? They can kill the Brutal Cathar, get back their Rahilda double block. It's not particularly great. Am I really playing around that tapped land? I just want to keep pounding counters onto this, or possibly onto the 2/2. This is a tough call. We get to draw. Put another counter there. It doesn't look like they have the Frostbite at all. Hits, hits. And we've got all this hastiness coming at them. They're not getting out of this one. It's a very sad Stormseeker. So we make them like play with fire this and Brutal Cathar that. They Brutal Cathar the Brutal Cathar, they get back Rahilda. That still doesn't beat a Reckless Stormseeker. So they're gonna go Ranger class, Thundering Rebuke, Electrostatic Blast, okay. Yeah. Get 'em! Sick 'em, boys! Yeah, they were dead on board anyway. We're fighting a nut tree. I'm having this weird moment where it's been a long time since I studied where nuts come from, and I'm like, do they grow on trees? Do you get walnuts from trees? Cashews? Leave me a comment. I know you want to. Let's go, puppers. Let's go. Oh, God. All right. The pupper that goes first is the pupper that wins most of the time. Although pupper with Rahilda can be good. And maybe Valor's Stance takes out their puppered creature and life is beautiful. Tapped land. Their pupper's a 3/2. If they don't kill our Rahilda, we can beat that. I'm a little worried about them killing our Rahilda, though. Because another line we could take is Ranger class, which trades with this anyway, so maybe they'd kill the wolf. And then the next turn we can play another pupper and a Rahilda. Or we can wait till turn 4 and have a Valorous Stance for it. Man, this is tough. I think I'm going to play the Ranger class. My Spidey senses are tingling that I can get this Rahilda to actually survive if I play this Ranger class. I think I'm also going to play this on white to make Valorous Stance more available in the future. I mean, let's not pretend they won't have a removal spell. Let's try to play around the removal spell. We should be pretty confident they have. Ooh. No land. They has no land, guys. Maybe we play a 3/4 pack leader. Pretty good. Pretty good. Rahilda can be the boss of this board if we're patient. A 3/4 pack leader is really hard to get through. Are we going to not attack with it? I don't think we are. That pack leader is too scary. I think we hold this back, because if this dies to a Thundering Rebuke, we still want to be able to block this pack leader and kill it. Oh, this has Vigilance. On guard. I forget how my pup works. Too much time playing Standard. Back and forth between formats. It's been attacks I did not expect so far. But you're not going to find me often complaining about playing more Magic. That's just not a thing you're going to get me to do. Totally fine trading there. That pack leader drawing cards is the biggest threat we have, and it keeps them mana screwed. Captain. Captain. What a draw. That should help. That should really help our position get better. And you definitely want to get the trigger where you can. All right. Tovolar or pack leader? They have to trade a 2/2 if we take the Tovolar, or we can hold everybody back and the Tovolar flips. Tovolar is the highest potential return here. I'm probably overthinking it, considering that my opponent's mana screwed, but that does mean they have a ton of spells in their hand, and when they hit those lands, we're going to be in trouble. If they don't hit those lands, this game is going to end. All right. They're going to put a counter there. I think I just trade here. Keep the wolves. Flip this. They don't want none. That is definitely going to be the turn where it all spirals out of control. Danny Targaryen. I'm guessing you're playing dragons and I'm on the draw. That's not good. And we're on a mulligan. That's not good. Might be one of those games. I'm not going to throw in the towel just yet, but I I'm thinking about it already. Whoa. Liar, liar, pants on fire. All right, the pathway draw is going to make it pretty awkward that we have to commit to white or red. But let's see what we draw next turn before we worry too much. Perfect. We don't have to commit. I attack you with my Tenacious Pup. Blue-white can be a very good matchup. But they're on the play and they might have a really good draw, and if they Jwari this, it's a disaster. Okay, no Jwari. That's obnoxious, but it's fine. This is fine. I'll take a card. Jeskai. Fun fact, I tried really hard on a Jeskai deck before this, and it was a disaster. They don't have double blue. Might be a divide by 0, though. Let's see if we can Seek a Storm. Resolves. A Braid. Okay. Well, we still have our Tovolar, which can draw us some cards. That's why we slow roll that one. Nighttime is the right time. Do we go for a board? They have double white. If they had Purge, though, I think they'd have played the game very differently than they've played it so far. The other thing that we can do this turn, just draw a card with the clue, play a Tenacious Pup, say go. Then if they're missing land drops, if they tap out for key next turn, we play Tovolar and draw a bunch of cards. I think I like that a lot. Man, if I draw, I'm less likely to draw a pack leader, but the shuffler is fine. If I draw Rahilda, it's kind of a tilt. Okay. Still no land. They're holding, they're just chilling. I feel like they've got a removal spell, though, so let's unleash the puppers on them. And we could play the Legion Angel, but they might have a counter now. I don't think they had one before, but they might have one now. Still, they don't have double blue. I think we go Legion, then. I think Legion's a good play here. If it enters the battlefield, we get a lot of value. There's the removal. We're just waiting for them to tap mana on their turn so we can Tovolar and get some cards. I gotta say, I don't remember a day like this for a long time where my opponents just could not draw land. Man, does it make Magic easy. I kind of want to talk about how great our deck is and how talented I am at the game and how I'm totally worthy of this diamond, but man, our opponents have missed their land drops today. And we are back for the post-game wrap, and let's check out the stats powered by Untapped.gg. Download link in the description. It does support the channel, and it was a quick and dirty, that's the wrong one. It was a quick and dirty 4-0 for the Naya Werewolves deck, and our opponents, I've never seen my opponents miss so many land drops, which is fine, because yesterday trying to make videos with Jeskai control, which I eventually gave up on, I missed some land drops there. So I guess these days happen. And the stats are always a small sample size, admittedly. We don't have a lot of time like I used to focus in on each individual deck as we do the battle for the channel, but the battle needs to be fought. So if you made it to this point in the video, you have done your part to support Alchemy. You're welcome to also support Standard. If you watch both, that's totally cool. But remember to hit a like, leave a comment. If you hit join and become a member, say which content you joined for, like I joined for Alchemy or I joined for Standard. Take your part in the battle for the channel. Now, the deck walks a razor's edge, and it does run the edge. Like, you will have a certain number of games where you feel bad, where you cannot cast turn 1 Tenacious Pup, turn 2 thing you need to cast, where you cannot cast Pack Leader on turn 2, where you do not have the white for the Valor stance when you need it, where you cannot cast the Inquisitor Captain and get the trigger. Like, all these things are baked into the deck. It's the different side of RNG, basically like Key to the Archive that never gets you what you need. It's just coming from your own deck mana base instead of from other factors in the game. Every game has RNG hidden somewhere. This deck has a lot more RNG hidden in what you can do with your lands. And maybe in Best of 1 that's a substantial risk, because in Best of 1 every game matters and you don't get that bounce back opportunity like in Best of 3 to kind of correct it. But I feel like the deck is very playable, and I do feel like you can get to Mythic with it, and I feel like you have good matchups all over the board. Like, even on the draw, our Brutal Cathars got us through against some pretty powerful mono-green nonsense. Even in some tough spots, like this can... I know from playing Control a lot, Wolves make Control absolutely miserable. And this deck just has a raw power factor that is... It's up there in the format. It's not the top, because I feel like getting Townraiser Tyrant in the deck is closer to the top, but maybe I'm just more partial to the Tyrant than the Captain, because I've beaten the Captain many times using Control decks, but I have a terrible time beating an Accelerated Tyrant. But those are the 2 4-drops that you can choose to build around, Captain or Tyrant, and maybe there's a world where you run both, cut Alana Elena, cut Legion Angel, run 2 Tyrants. Maybe that's the way. Maybe you even trim some Ranger class for it, although I think Ranger class was great in this video. Anyway, you can always leave me a comment and let me know what you would do with the deck. Thank you for watching the video. As always, I will see you in the next video. You're cool.